Andy Stevenson for SevereMMA. After a wild night here in the RDS Arena for Cage Warriors 188, standing alongside Cage Warriors President Graham Boylan. I'm going to start with the main event. Heartbreak for James Sheen, but what a story Justin Burlinson has. What a moment for him to come back, having had heartbreak himself in Ireland, in Belfast, and to come to Dublin and get the job done, become the new Cage Warriors champion. What did you make of the main event?
It was, I'll say firstly, when that fight was put together, it kind of broke my heart to see that fight happen, because both guys have been in the game for a considerable length of time. Both guys have been through the wars, and it was like, fuck, it's a fight that kind of had to happen, but it's a fight that one guy's stepping back again. But what a fight. You know, James looked solid the whole way through. Best I've seen him look. Justin being Justin, just being that absolute fucking warrior, and just came back and got that win. It's like, yeah. it's still fresh in my head just watching that fight. Like I said, it was a fight where there was so much on the line for both guys.
Do you feel like Justin will get his shot to the UFC next?
I would like to think, you know, if not, Dana White's Contender Series, because there's a story there, there's a narrative there. A call-up, maybe one defense and a call-up, I don't know, but, you know, he's been through the mill. So is James, and that's why I felt there was big repercussions on this fight, this main event tonight. And I don't think a lot of people know that or realize that.
Yeah, I mean, this, I suppose the same from the topic of perseverance and resurgence, the same could be said for the co-main event. James Webb, what he's done since moving up from middleweight, you know, there was a time where you could have said, you know, is it retirement time, considering the 3 knockout losses that he took? But what he's done is unbelievable. He's 35 years old now. He's won the light heavyweight title. He's defended it. What comes next for him?
Taking age on board, if there's anyone that deserves a shot at the big league, it's James Webb. You know, he's grew up on Cage Warriors. He's been in fucking wars on Cage Warriors. He's taken belts in 2 divisions. You know, I know he's pushing for a 3rd division to be a 3-division champ. Maybe that's on the line. You know, there needs to be a...
Heavyweight? Heavyweight?
I think he's been calling for that, yeah. He's been calling for that. And you know, I think there should be a bit of a look and a strong conversation with him with the bigger league. You know, he's proved himself over and over again, and I understand the age could be a factor, but he has proved himself. So I would like to think, you know, there's going to be some kind of conversation for him.
I know you kind of gave us an update when it happened earlier on about Paddy McCar's fight falling out due to a medical, or, you know, a lack of medical clearance. Is there any subsequent update on that? Or, is it going to be looked to be rebooked, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so another one that kind of smashed my heart as well is when the doctors come to see me during the show, especially in the prelims. I know there's something up. So when they came to me and said that there was an issue with the opponent, and they told me who it was, I was like, oh, fuck. Because I know how hard Paddy trained for this fight. I know he had a perfect camp. He was not injured. He was going into this just the ultimate Paddy McCar. But unfortunately, these things happen, and it's safety before anything on Cage Warriors. So I spoke to Paddy first. I told him to keep his head in the game. You know, we have a show in 4 weeks in Rome. We'll get him there so his camp is not wasted. If it's the same opponent, it'll be the same opponent rebooked. Yes, Hassan has got, you know, till probably Tuesday, Wednesday to figure out what that issue is. Can they figure it out? Can he be cleared? And at the end of all this, it could be nothing. But the risk was too big to take if it was something. So he's got to go get clearance. He gets clearance, that fight will get rescheduled in Rome, and they can both go get it on there. If he doesn't get clearance or he needs a bit more time, then we'll find another opponent for Paddy in Rome. So we're going to move him to Rome.
I'm not going to go through every single fighter in the card because there's far too many, but the standout for me tonight was Solomon Simon, an absolutely incredible finish. He is someone who, we look at Irish fighters all the time, he's absolutely catapulted himself as one of the top prospects in the sport in the country. Your featherweight champion, Harry Hardwick, was here tonight, and to me there's kind of been this, the 2 lads that I've had my eye on are Solomon and then Nick Bagley. Yeah. What do you do next? Obviously, I don't think there's a real clear picture with Harry right now as far as moving on to UFC. There was the weirdness of the ending of the last fight, but who's your next featherweight contender?
That's a that's a conversation. It's a brainstorming session with the matchmaker, Ian Dean. So when I say brainstorming session, it'll probably end up being a massive argument because he'll put his thoughts, I'll put my thoughts, and we'll figure out what's the best and fairest way to go along with that. But certainly, both guys are definitely in that conversation.
How impressed were you with Solomon tonight?
I mean, what is he, 6-0, 6 finishes? He looked good. Every finish seems to be exciting. Yeah, he's got the tools. So, they're interesting fights. Both opponents with Harry, it doesn't matter which way you go. They're going to be great fights. But again, the repercussions, and there's a lot on the line in Cage Warriors fights when you get to that level. When you're coming through, Cage Warriors is great. But when you get to the co-main and the main event stage and the belt stage, there's a lot on the line, man. There's a lot on the line.
I've badgered you a couple of times with questions about SBG. I've badgered John Kavanagh with some questions about SBG and Cage Warriors. They're back. It's, in my opinion, it's a good time for the sport in the country. How did this happen? How did SBG get back in Cage Warriors?
I turned 50 years of age. I'm chilling out. I don't care anymore. Bygones. I don't like to see the young kids. I grew up in Ireland. I know what it's like to have fuck all. And it started to edge away at me the little bits and pieces that were going on in politics and the sport. The people that were suffering were the kids and the talent that are in this island. And I just thought, fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. Open the doors.
Did you and John have a conversation about it?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not getting that old.
What's that?
I'm not getting that old.
That's fair enough. Your third show in the RDS. It was here the first time. It was in the other arena the second time. Back here today. Sellout crowd. I suppose why this area, and what can we expect for the next Irish show? We did the 3 arena. It's very difficult to sell out the 3 arena, but it seems like tonight was a success from a ticket selling perspective.
There's a wave of talent, okay? And I've said this before. When Cage Warriors is consistent in Ireland, the talent that rises to the top is fucking phenomenal. If you look back at every wave of talent in this country that come through MMA, when Cage Warriors was consistent is when they were all at their best. That wave of talent is there now. It's fresh, it's young. There's a lot of them signed to the organization. We're going to bring the show here 2 or 3 times a year to develop that talent. We're going to bring that wave up, we're going to develop that wave, and probably early next year we'll be back in the 3 arena. But right now, we're going to concentrate on that core group that we've signed. We're going to build them, we're going to put the lights around them, the PR around them, and we're going to show that it's not a coincidence when Cage Warriors comes to Ireland and puts on regular shows, what happens? It's what we do, we develop talent, and there's a wave there to do that, and we're going to do that again now.
Last question. You mentioned there, plan for 3 arena for next year, 2 to 3 events a year. This is the first event here in 2025. September?
Yeah.
Do you have a date?
September.
Okay.
We do, but September.
In the RDS?
September.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
the time.
Take care.
Cheers.
Look after you.